Oh, already you're jumping right into it.
Jumping right in.
Oh man. Well, I'll warn you. There's a little thunder rumblies out there, so
Yeah,
if I go away, it's because I lost power. But
same. We got the same thing happening here,
yeah.
so I get it. I wanted to start it right away because I wanted you to see what I'm doing to you right now.
But the Giants, I mean,
Yeah,
you
but you
know,
see you see who that is?
Strahan,
Ah,
Saquon.
Saquon.
Sorry,
I got
I
Saquon's.
was like, is this a Hall of Fame thing? Like, is Brett Favre and the stupidest sack record ever? Like,
Hey, I got Saquon's jersey tee on. I got the Penn State hat. I got Saquon for Heisman when he was with Penn State because after you talked shit about him last week, guess who's back on the practice field?
okay, practice. You're gonna talk about practice? Practice?
You got to start somewhere.
Uh, for those of you listening with high quality headphones, yes, I did just open a beer and pour it. Sorry. Uh,
I will do the same.
Thank you to Colin Teniglia. I'm able to enjoy a nice cold Queen Charlotte Pilsner from our sponsor, Protagonist Brewing. So uh, I I have to admit this is the last one that you sent me. So they did not last long in the house, which is always a good sign in the Root household.
I saw
That's probably the best rating you can get right there is the fact that they disappeared quickly out of the fridge.
yeah, I saw on tap that you said they were crushable, so I knew
Oh
they
yeah.
probably wouldn't last very long.
Oh yeah. That's why I was like, we have to record this week. So I guess other news for everyone listening in. We're without our schlub this week. So maybe I'll be the honorary schlub this week. But Ethan's out exploring the mountains out west with his family. So he takes pilgrimage. He's got family out there out west. He usually takes a vacation once or twice a year. I think he's not much of a hiker, is he? I mean, he's going to go up in the mountains, right? But
I'd be surprised if he even knew how to hike, if that's a thing. So
I am going to say I don't know if your wife listens, but I am going to say one more vote in the future if we need to sub for Christine Toddy Cernelia. I mean, she would then I would definitely be the honorary schlub because she puts both of us to shame. But
well, it's funny you should say, does she listen? Yay, yes, she does listen. And B, so I put up every Wednesday because we record on Wednesday nights. I put up on our Facebook group and on our Twitter page. If you're not following either one of those accounts, follow them right now. They're in the show notes. But I put up a mailbag question. Anyone have questions for us on the
did she
pod?
write in?
And she wrote in twice this week.
Oh,
Yeah. And the first question was, she said, well, it wasn't even a question. It was, I've somehow made it into multiple episodes now. Will the trend continue tonight?
oh, absolutely! Right off the bat, right off the bat.
Yeah. So she'll
Should
get
start
a
in the
kick out of
episode
that.
though, and when you do listen to this, Toddy, you would be great. Just saying,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what
We
was question
almost,
number two?
well, we almost convinced her to be on. That's what Matt is kind of alluding to right now is we almost convinced her. She said yes, then she backed out. So hopefully now the peer pressure of everybody hearing this, next time Ethan decides that he's not cool enough to hang out with us, she'll want to sit in. But the real question, so get this, you're going to have to think hard. The real question that she asked is, what sports will Stella play? And for those who don't
Oh,
know, Stella is my daughter and she is just a little over 1 year old. So doesn't really have too much in terms of development done yet. But Matt, what do you think? What do you think what sports she's going to
well,
play?
shit. I mean, weren't you playing Yankees highlights to her when she was growing up? So I mean, so you've already predisposed her to like, she could be one of the first women to play in the major leagues. You never know.
That's true. And
But I don't know. Just
right now there's a ton of girls playing in the Little League World Series.
awesome.
I've seen them on, yeah. So
Oh,
it's already happening.
who was the knockout pitcher from Philadelphia? Like she was the shutdown pitcher for
Monet.
Philadelphia a couple years ago.
Monet, I think was her name.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that was pretty cool. I know she wasn't the first girl, but she was a dominant girl, which was awesome to see.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I remember she had the braids. Like she looked fierce. She was good. She was.
Yeah.
Put it this way: when I was that age, I wouldn't want to face her. I wouldn't want to step in the batter's box.
The video I saw today of one of the girls, she's a catcher, and it was a so they must have the drop third strike rule in Little League now. I don't think they had it when we were playing. You did the umpiring, so maybe you know, but I saw it was a drop third strike, pitch in the dirt, got away from her, so the runner runs down, and it's like 40 feet to first base or whatever, like super
60,
close.
60, no, you're right, 40. Never mind, 60s. Yeah, no, it is 60.
No, yeah, it is 60.
It is 60.
It's
yeah.
90 feet for baseball. Yeah. And so the kid's flying, and she just pops out, just like Higgy, just pops right out, grabs the ball, chucks it down to first. The first baseman caught it so smoothly, like he knew the whole time that it was coming, and just like threw it for the around the horn. After that, it was like you wouldn't even know, like the sex wouldn't even have mattered because she fit right in.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well. So back to your question. And this isn't. I got to base it on something. So mom and dad met at a running store. So she could be a sprinter. Mm-hmm. She could be a long distance runner. I mean, heck, I've got a close friend's fiance is an ultra marathoner. Like when I first.
All right.
Thank you for the quick editing, Colin. But before the power went out, what I was saying is that you and Toddy met at a running store, so she could be, like my friend's fiance. When I met her a couple weeks ago, she's like, "Oh yeah, I just ran 30 miles this morning," and it's like, could you say that any more nonchalantly? So maybe she's an ultra marathoner, maybe she's a track star, maybe she's I don't know. You were soccer and baseball. Toddy was lacrosse. Maybe she's a star of a sport we've never even dreamt of yet.
Yeah, that could be true. A sport that hasn't even been invented yet.
Yeah, or is like popular, or isn't popular now, but is way more popular. 15 years from now.
Could be esports for all we know.
Yeah. Could be esports. Could be paintball. It could be that weird. I shouldn't say weird. That frighteningly crazy. I think it's popular over in Asia. It's like volleyball, but you only can kick the ball with your feet.
What?
And so like, oh yeah, no, it's nuts. If you guys get a chance to watch it, so they're like passing back and forth, like you do like the bump set spike, but you're doing it with your feet. And when the guys spike the ball, they're doing backflips to get their feet above the net to spike the ball down. It's so crazy. Yeah, wow. I gotta find the name and look it up. Maybe if I don't find it by the end of the show, we can put it in the show notes. But like, it was nuts.
I don't know if she'll be tall enough to do something like that. But no, I mean, I hope she ends up, playing a variety of sports. But who knows what she's gonna want to do? She's her own person. But if I had a choice, it would be either baseball or softball, obviously.
I mean, you never know. She could end up a musician or an artist.
Yeah, for sure. Either way, I'll be proud of her. But we answered the question, Toddy, my lovely wife.
Well, I did. You didn't.
Well, I said if I had my choice, it would be baseball or softball.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was hoping for more, but okay.
Yeah. So I have to ask you. So how you asked Ethan and I if we knew anybody in Iowa, because apparently they were trying to figure out a way to keep the tickets from getting all out of whack for tomorrow's Field of Dreams game.
Nice Field of Dreams game.
Well, right, yeah. When people are listening to this, yes, yeah, absolutely. I have seen that ticket prices are comparable to World Series prices at this point on the secondary sites, TickPick and SeatGeek and all of those, and it's really sad. Like, I kind of wish like somebody rich would have just bought up all the tickets and then been like, here, go for free. Like, just hand them out to people. Like, why do we have to do this? Like, everyone was like, well, it's just one game and there's like 3,000 seats. And I'm like, well, you don't have to price gouge, just a price gouge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there's 8,000, and last time I looked at the prices, which was earlier this afternoon, it was $1,000 a seat before fees. And all I can think is, and there was a lot of tickets available too. I mean, there was a lot up for sale. And so despite the MLB's efforts to keep them local and keep it to actual people who wanted to attend the game, I shake my head because every damn ticket listed there, all I could think is, man, like, you don't care about the game. You don't care about what's going to be special. You're preying on the fact that it's special to other people and they're willing to pay that money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear people who resell tickets all the time talk, well, it's market value. And if I can get that money, I'm going to get that money. But yeah.
Doesn't make it right.
Yeah.
Doesn't
I am
make it
excited
right.
though. I was clicking around what the stadium looks like. I actually watched Colbert's segment last night. He tried out Guy Fieri's apple pie hot dog made specifically for the Field of Dreams game.
That's awesome.
He did pull out a clip though from 2007 where as Stephen Colbert on the Colbert Report, he mentions that you should put a hot dog in an apple pie because it's the most American thing you can think of. So he took invention credit there, but still, I mean, it looks like a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to tuning into it. I'll have to stay up late a little bit, but I'll make sure I get a good beer and maybe some special something special eat and relax and watch the game. I'm excited.
Yeah, I hope it all comes out. Like obviously it's going to be super special and awesome for the people who are there in person to be able to see it all, touch it all, and everything. I hope on TV it kind of gives off some of those same vibes. I mean, I know some of the pictures have been really great, but you can get the good angles and everything, and they're only going to have, the baseball angles for the game.
Yep.
But, maybe they'll do some show rounds between innings and before the game and after the game. But yeah, I'm excited, even though 70% of the Yankee roster, it feels like, is either on the regular IL or the COVID IL at this point. And, even the White Sox are a little banged up. They were supposed to have Rendon start, and now Lance Lynn is starting tomorrow, and Tony La Russa is not going to be there because he's going to a funeral for his sister's husband who passed away. And so there'll be a lot of people missing from tomorrow, but I think it's still pretty exciting. And I have to imagine it will ultimately end up being better than the actual movie itself. Because yeah. I know Field of Dreams is kind of revered within the baseball world, but to me it's just kind of like an movie. I mean, I like it, I'll watch it, but I'm never gonna seek it out like I would.
I mean, it's a feel-good movie disguised as a sports movie. Like the whole the point is, his bond with his father over baseball. It's not really a baseball movie. That's just but I mean, it's wonderful. I love it. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see the field. I don't know if have you looked at kind of some of the designs, like the outfield walls are going to be transparent so you can see the corn.
Yeah.
You have to walk through the cornfield to get to the actual stadium. It's going to be special.
Yeah, for sure. I would have loved to go, but I was quite a hike, and that price for a ticket is not cheap. But hopefully it'll be something good on TV to watch and something good for baseball. Hopefully they'll do more things like this in the future, like they got out to London a couple of years ago, and they're definitely trying. So I'll give them that for the effort. But
that was another failed trip when that first was the press release for that first came out, and we thought we were going to go to London. Yeah. Oops.
Yeah.
Tickets sold out for that in about 20 seconds.
Yeah. And it ended up being, from everything I remember, it was so long ago now because it was 2019, right? That it was.
Yeah. It was a slugfest.
It was slugfest that the Yankees ultimately prevailed over the Red Sox. And apparently, so like everybody in England loved it in London, from a fan's perspective. And the Yankees, I guess, had a really great time because they stayed like in London and got to, experience the city and everything. And I guess the Red Sox kind of like decided to stay somewhere in the outskirts. And not only did they get pounded, but they just didn't get to really have much fun. And so they did not enjoy it as much, but that's on the Red Sox. And I don't really feel sorry for them.
Yeah. Oh man, the rain's back. Ooh, well, I'll keep my fingers crossed that the power doesn't go out. But
either way, we got the magic of podcasting at our fingertips.
That's true.
It'll be good.
No, I'm actually looking at maybe going to a Yankees game up in New York. I've got vacation to burn, and I've got a little bit of savings I set aside for a vacation that I'm not using right now. So thinking about trying to get some nice receipts up at a game at Yankee Stadium. Monday. They're targeting there is a makeup date between the Yanks and the Angels
In New York.
In New York. I think that'd be a fun one.
Yeah.
So I'm debating if I can swing that, take a couple days off and go see the game. But I've only seen the Yankees in Baltimore this year. I'd like to see a couple more if I can.
Yeah, for sure. I'm personally holding out for the World Series tickets. That will set me back a few months with the price, but
I appreciate your optimism there. I'm usually the grumpy one on our group chats, but enough about the Yankees.
Well, real quick before we get away, even though they have 70% of their team on the IL right now, they're 12-4 in their last 16 games. And so they're doing something right. They haven't had a day off in 17 days. They get their first day on Friday if they end up playing tomorrow. It's not a rain out. So they're going to get a blow. And then they have the makeup on Monday, so they don't get that off day. But they've made it exciting again. It's Yankees, Sox, Oakland. It's kind of,
remember though, three of those 4 series are against the Orioles, the Marlins, and the Royals, teams they should be beating anyway. So
right. But prior to the deadline, they weren't really doing that. So
whatever.
Got to give credit where credit's due.
I'm not there yet. Maybe in a little bit. Maybe next podcast.
Yeah, maybe by September. We'll see.
Well, I want to take advantage of Ethan not being here, since Ethan's not really invested in the NBA, and I'm not a huge fan. Colin, you're the biggest out of all of us, but I did get excited about something I saw, which is they announced rule changes. A couple things, I guess, are already starting in the summer league, but it's something that they want to use in the 2021-2022 season, and it's all centered around offensive players and how they're drawing fouls, and essentially the use of, and I'm quoting the NBA official Twitter here, overt non-basketball moves used by players to initiate contact with defenders. And it's kind of funny because that's not part of the international game. So a lot of these NBA stars already couldn't get away with it in the Olympic play, in the pool, FIBA pool.
Right.
But everyone's seen it. I think James Harden's a big one. Curry does it often as well. I mean, essentially, they're getting ready for a jump shot, and if they have a good pump fake and they get the defender in the air, they'll hesitate and jump into the defender. They're not even taking a shot. They're just kind of throwing the ball towards the rim, jumping in the defender to draw the foul and get the free throws. And what it leads to, and honestly, there are some times where that may be just incidental contact, but it leads to a lot of really goofy and potentially dangerous plays where you've got an offensive player potentially undercutting or knocking off balance a defensive player who can't control his body anymore.
Right.
Now, the line I'll draw there is, obviously a defender needs to be punished for not controlling their body, but even if they're jumping straight up, an offensive player could jump into them, shoot the ball, and still draw the foul.
Yeah.
So I think that they're trying to get away from, or kind of what's more egregious, and I think even more dangerous, is this practice that's become more popular these last 2 or 3 years of, as you're taking a jump shot, kicking your leg out in kind of an unnatural area just to try and, it looks like they're trying to trip the defender in midair, but really they're just trying to initiate contact. So you could brush a player with your leg while taking a jump shot, and it would be called a foul on the defense. And you would, whether or not you make the jump shot, you would be awarded free throws. So I'm interested to hear what you think, Colin. I'm a little bit excited. I think it'll get rid of some of the absurd plays, some of the like it or not, they become part of the game. I think it'll hopefully give a little bit more balance to the defender, to some of the defensive specialists out there who are trying to guard against some of these really, really ridiculous fouls.
Yeah, I think, we've already kind of beat it down how slow baseball can be to react to rules that should probably be changed or adjusted. And sports like basketball and football change rules every single year, significant rules that have major impacts on games. And I think this one's an awesome one because there's two things. The easy thing is it gets away from the stupid acting crap. Like, come on, we're playing basketball. Like, let's stop being like soccer players and flopping all over the place and everything. Yeah. Like, it drives me crazy. But I think the more important thing is, so basketball in its best form is uninterrupted, right? The flow of the game just goes back and forth, whether they're making shots or not. The flow of the game is what's really appealing about basketball. And when you're blowing the whistle all the time because of these like, touchy-feely fouls that don't make sense, when you say like, okay, as a defender, you're like you were saying, you're supposed to be straight up, and if you lean over, that's a foul. But like at the same time, if you're straight up and an offensive player leans into you, that's a foul too. Like, what are you supposed to do there? And so I think it'll really help the gameplay. Not that basketball is hurting for fans, but when you're in a position to grab it by the throat and continue to grow and build, that's where the NBA is right now. Like, you look at the NBA's growth like since the 70s or so, and what they have done to position themselves as, eventually they'll take over the NFL when the NFL has to basically shut down because they're killing people on the field and everything. And the NBA is in a really good spot where they got a ton of young fans, they have a ton of interactive stuff. The gameplay is fun. They'll figure out the 3-point junk and everything if they got to put in a 4-point play, and nobody's going to care. And they'll still try to compare who's ever coming in the future to who's going to be better than LeBron and Michael. And they'll try to compare them, even though they play in completely different eras, completely different rules, courts, all this stuff. But that's the great thing about the NBA is nobody cares because they all love the sport so much that they just get so passionate. And I just think it's awesome. So I'm totally for it. I think it really helps the game play it for the most fundamental aspect. But man, I wish baseball would act more in the way that basketball and football do.
Well, and you're good about bringing up the flow because one of the things the NBA Twitter feed talked about is a lot of these instances are just going to become no calls.
Right.
So they're not going to stop the game. Now, there will be instances where it becomes an offensive foul. One of the videos they showed was Steph Curry driving down the lane for a floater, and literally as he's jumping off to do his floater, as he's taking his launch, he goes sideways. He goes sideways with his shoulder into a defender. Nothing about the shooting motion is associated with it at all. But he shoulder. I mean, he hurls himself at the guy. I think that would be an offensive foul in the future. But
I didn't even think about offensive fouls. That's really good point.
Yeah. So most of it sounds like they're going to be no calls, which is exciting. Now you talk about extreme rule changes. They still haven't adopted the Elam ending, but maybe one of these years. I don't know. That's the one time when the NBA can kind of mimic the slow play and frustratingly slow or zero action time of baseball is the last 2 minutes, but or I should say the last 2 minutes of a close game.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see if that becomes or continues to be criticism if that changes in the next 5 years.
Yeah, for sure. Can you hear the rumbling in the background here?
No, but I don't have the volume up too high.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the mic's picking it up. People are gonna hear it on the podcast tomorrow. Last night and tonight, it started at like the same time, like 5:30, 6 o'clock or so. Last night it went for like 4 hours. We didn't get any rain, but it just rumbled thunder the entire night, for those 4 hours, and it's been doing the same thing now. It's almost 7:30, so it's been a few hours.
We had a lot of severe weather last night too. Like we got the rain, which is good because my lawn needs it. But but more like scarier than that is today we've been under a severe heat warning. So we had heat indices today in the 108, 109 range.
Yeah,
and I've got employees working outside. So at our morning huddle meeting, I gave everyone a bottle of Gatorade and asked everyone to drink it by the end of the meeting, and then I did a little bit of showing off. I just unscrewed it and chugged the whole thing in front of everyone, closed it back up, set it aside, said, all right, time to begin the meeting now. So My safety coordinator came up to me after and said, "You look like you've done that before." And I said, "Maybe not with Gatorade, but yeah,
I've had some practice.
yeah, here and there."
Yeah. The weather's crazy right now. I know I was telling Toddy earlier, I think it was last night in New York, somebody captured a picture of World Trade One Center and the Empire State Building getting struck by the same lightning bolt at the same time.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'll have to
a
Google
sick
search
pic.
that later.
Yeah, for
Hopefully they
sure.
make a lot of money off that picture.
Yeah, seriously. It definitely had to go viral. So I thought it was awesome. I love to see those things. Obviously super scary. Like you don't want to get struck by lightning, but to see the picture was really cool.
Yeah, we I actually have my phone set up that anytime there's lightning within 25 miles of work, it like buzzes in my pocket just because, again, I've got people working outside. We want to make sure we're keeping everything. No, it's a lot more scarier now. I remember back in the Little League days when, anytime there was even a whisper of thunder, the fields were half an hour. But
yeah,
I didn't care about that rule back then. But now we take it pretty seriously, which is nice.
Yeah. I think we know more too these days about all that. So it's probably in the best interest of everybody.
So one of the things I want, and moving on from the NBA, we're doing a little variety show this week. But one of the things I want to touch on last week, and I don't know what to call it. I haven't thought of something catchy yet. Maybe we'll leave that to the schlub. But like a viral video roundup, something that kind of just, I've seen a couple things. I was writing down notes because it caught my eye last week when the cat got on the field at Yankee Stadium, and the guys couldn't get the dang thing off the field. They did such a bad job. You got to just go in there and you can get it by the scruff. You got to scruff the cat, get him out, get him safely. Take care of him. But there was two other that caught my mind this week. One got a lot of press. The Dodgers ball girl, who, I saw a couple like profile articles on her, and I got a low key crush on her. She seems pretty awesome. But yeah, that I don't know if it was a shove or a tackle, but man, whatever kind of hit she put on that
streaker
guy disrupting the game. Yeah, holy cow, that was one hell of a hit. So
yeah,
that got lots of press. I thought that was pretty awesome. The other one, not as much press, but there was an incident at a FC Cincinnati game where a toddler who was sitting in the front row with his mom, she said she took an eye off him for 1 second. And as she looked back, he was running on the field chasing down the ball. So you see this picture. Luckily, the action has moved away, and the game flow isn't anywhere around this 2-year-old. But you see mom literally just run on the field, scoop up her kid, do like a slide and a kick reverse, and then like running back off the field. And security was there, but mainly, I mean, I think they kind of realized that was not intended. It was not intentional. So she got some cheers from the fans in the stadium. But yeah, that was the other thing. I couldn't stop laughing that, you see just this little gumper on the field, and then mom running after him as fast as she can. So I don't know. Those I'm gonna try and keep writing those down and see if we can sneak them in future episodes. But I thought that was pretty funny. They were definitely worth checking out if you guys get a chance to look them up on YouTube.
Yeah, I haven't seen the soccer one yet, but that Dodgers ball girl, man, she leveled this dude that was all these dumb people who think it's funny to run onto the field, and he got away from all the security people. And I mean, he didn't really have much further to go anyway. He was kind of going to run into the wall and be stuck there, but she just came right down the line and just clipped him.
Took him right off his feet. Yeah.
He flipped right over the fence and everything. Like his feet were in the air, and then all the cops were like right on top of him and everything. So I was like, yeah, you deserve that, man. And the other viral thing that just happened last night was the Trey Turner slide. Did you see that? During the Dodgers
I didn't. What happened?
It's the smoothest slide ever. Google it. Do it right now. Like while I'm trying to explain it, he scores and he just like pops right back up, like nonchalant, just real cool and everything. And he's got like a second slide in there with one of his legs. Like I don't even know how he did it, but everybody's like, oh yeah, I watched this like hundreds of times today, and I just can't get over how cool the slide was.
Smooth. Okay, MLB's YouTube channel says smoothest slide of all time. All right, let's see this. All right, single into right field. Okay, there's a throw, but okay, yeah, that is. I mean, that's like cool guys don't look at explosions level of slide right there. Like just like, I mean, he might as well have been sliding on like ice in his driveway. Like,
yeah, exactly. I don't know how he did it.
show the replay. Come on. Here we go.
We were gawking a few episodes about how Tatis Jr. did that like double jump at shortstop, and now we're like, oh yeah, these slides are so cool. So we get amused pretty easily over here.
Yeah, that's true. We wish we would look that cool, but
had any type of that athletic skill.
But yeah, the rumblings I'm hearing is that Turner's playing well enough that that Seager might be worried about keeping his job.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like the Dodgers just have a tractor beam for good players. Like, yeah, oh yeah, hey, Pujols, you stink in Anaheim. Okay, just drive across the city. At least he's better than a replacement level player now. Like,
yeah.
So he's you added a guy who's almost got 700 home runs.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, okay. Like even if you only hit one every once in a while, you're great. Oh, you add Max Scherzer. Oh, great. Like, Trevor Bauer is still out on administrative leave. Yeah, you still have one of the best pitching staffs in the damn NL West. So
yeah.
As a Yankees fan, I will say that I will assert, I'll make my point clear now. They are the new evil empire. Get off our backs. Okay. Get off our backs, everyone.
Yep. I totally agree with that. I tell people all the time, the Dodgers are the Yankees blueprint. Like they are trying to be the Dodgers. And like, I understand that the Dodgers, in this season in particular, have gone over the luxury tax that we talk about all the time. People are probably sick of
I like $100 million.
Right. But they also went under a few years ago to set them down. So like there's different tax brackets, just like there is for rich people and poor people in America. And so that's why I was saying last episode that I can't wait for 2 years from now when they're slashing payroll to get under the luxury tax again so they can reset and not have to pay as much, because like everyone else, including the Yankees, they understand that it's dumb to go over the luxury tax when you're paying money to every other team in baseball. Like, why would you want to give other teams free money to compete against you? It makes no sense from a competitive standpoint. And so like, yeah, they're going for it right now. They understand that their window is now. They got Bueller, they got Kirsch, they got some really great position players and everything. They got Mad Max now. Like, go all out. But I'm telling you, when that window closes, they'll still spend a lot of money because they're the Dodgers, but they will not stay over that luxury tax like they are right now. They will get under it. They might stay under it for a number of years like the Yankees are right now. Maybe they'll go over it again, but the way they develop players is what's allowed them to be a little bit more aggressive with going over. Whereas, and I don't want to like shit on the Yankees because again, they're on this like 12-4 run right now. And clearly their minor league system is a little bit better than people were giving it credit for, but they don't necessarily develop in the same way the Dodgers do, or the Rays. Dodgers and Rays are probably the two best, right? And so maybe the Yankees are third with the Red Sox. The Red Sox and the Yankees are probably next.
Put the Indians up there. The Indians seem to like
yeah
grow pitchers out of those Ohio cornfields. Like, oh, hey, you want to play pitcher? Oh, hey, Cy Young candidate 2 years. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. So you take like they're probably top five, maybe the A's, are in there too and everything. But most organizations don't have any of that shit figured out. So it drives me crazy. I personally think if baseball is going to continue like and try to have this competitive balance or whatever, that they should just put in the salary cap. Like at this point, just put it in. Like what are we doing? Why are we playing this game where we're trying to pretend that the Marlins and the Athletics are going to spend as much money as the Yankees and the Dodgers? Like it's never going to happen. And
it just gets back to what we talked about a couple weeks ago, that a salary minimum a floor comes in too. So
yeah,
but
I'm for
all
both.
Things go to baseball. No matter what, all things go to baseball.
Well, that's how it is. If people want to listen, they'll listen. We're not forcing you to listen, but we'd love if you do. And seriously, folks, like we're getting a lot of love. I mean, I got a couple other things. Oh, this is how we're gonna know if Ethan will actually listen to us. So I have two things for Ethan. And well, one's for all of us, but one is specifically for Ethan. So the first one comes from cousin Greg in our mailbag on Facebook. And it's not really a question. He said, just a quick comment. I am paying attention more and more to merging of cars on ramps since Ethan's rant. Completely agree with him. PA does have some weird ramps that are both on and off, so they are exceptions, like he mentioned. Also, the shift still stinks. So
that was. I'm assuming they live up north central PA. Yeah, I don't want to say Scranton. I don't want to put that out there, but
yeah, for sure. And then in awesome news, I've been saving this, and I don't feel bad that Ethan's not here, but I think I have figured out who Graham is. And not only have I figured out who Graham is for our 5-star review, they clarified their 5-star review, wrote a new one. And so I am going to pull it up here once I find it. But I believe Graham is Melissa Kuberka, who's a basketball coach at St. John Fisher. Melissa, shout out. Thanks for putting in a review. I put it together because I'm pretty sure her Instagram handle is the same as what she put in that. So I just happened to see it the other day
on the scene.
Yep, exactly. Now, her clarification is amazing. And if you want to shout out like Melissa and anyone else who puts this on, this is how you get a shout out. You put the 5-star rating and review. You got to put the review on Apple Podcasts. But anyway, she said, to clarify, the hosts are getting more comfortable with having a conversation and with educating the listener from episode to episode. Solid baseball tidbits for both the baseball fanatic and someone who doesn't know much. You'll never look at merge lanes the same again.
Oh, that's great.
So good. We are making an impact. That's all you can ask for. Like, really, that's it.
Oh man. I thought I was a fairly good traffic merger, but even now I'm like extra conscious of it too. Like, all right, like get up to speed, make sure you're not cutting anyone off. Like, he had a good point there.
Yeah.
And he's got to deal with DC traffic. So he's on another level right now. I'm lucky I'm in the farm fields outside of Philly. It's kind of quiet out here most of the days. So
yeah. Well, Charlotte traffic is notoriously pretty shitty too. And it just happened the other day. We were driving somewhere and I said to Toddy, I was like, this is exactly what Ethan was talking about. There was someone who was riding my ass on the merge. And it was supposed to be a long merge that we would both eventually get off. But as soon as there was an opportunity, he just flipped right out and messed up the flow of traffic to everything on the right. It was like a 5-lane highway that we were getting onto. And I was like, whatever. But we're getting love. People are listening, people are interacting. The show is growing.
I was amazed. I've got college friends, I've got coworkers listening in, I've got family members back home. So it was definitely I'm happy to hear the love. I ask everyone the same thing, and I'll make a plea now. I want that feedback, guys. I want to know, hey, what do you want to hear? Like, do you want more sabermetrics for dummies? You want more pop culture-y stuff? You want viral video? I don't know, top threes or whatever the hell we did today. I'm resisting calling it a breakdown because I'm not doing any breakdowns. That's someone else's shtick. But let me know. I'm happy. Like I said to Colin earlier, everything goes back to baseball. I can talk baseball with these guys forever. We can dredge up old arguments and talk about the minutia of balls and strikes and robot umps and all that stuff, or we can customize it and keep it light and keep it going. So a little bit of a non sequitur there. Sorry, Colin.
No,
I'm on my
it's
second
fun.
beer. Maybe that's it.
Give us the feedback, get those 5-star rating and reviews in. Let's get some more interaction going on this podcast. Matt, do you have anything to finish us off? I have something, but I want to see if you have something before.
Well, first, do you have any copy for Protagonist Brewing? I mean, I'm happy to be featuring one of their beers on tonight. Again, crushable. It's already gone. I'm on to another beer tonight.
Can you hold it up again so we can get the snapshot like we did last week?
Oh yeah. Although I don't have merch, but
Not yet.
Don't, you know, I'm gonna visit and I'm gonna get some, because I've been trying to feature new beer hats and new beer brewery shirts every week, but you know, Protagonist isn't quite there yet, but I'm gonna get some.
Yeah, we'll hook you up. No worries either way. I do have something for Protagonist really quick, and then I can get to my last thing if you're cool with that.
Yeah.
So Protagonist just started canning their Danks Obama, which is an IPA. How many beers have I had? And it's delicious. I've had it twice because it's been out now for roughly a month or two, but they just started canning it last week. I don't know if they still have any. I hope they do, because I'm going to get some myself. Hopefully, if not this weekend, next. And it's super tasty beer. So definitely head over. They also have a drag festival, I think they're calling it, on the 13th. So that's upcoming here pretty quickly, Friday the 13th. So little fun there with everything. But yeah, Protagonist continues to be strong, a lot of great stuff. And one day we're going to do a live show from there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Did they time that canning? You know, like former President Obama turned 60 last week. So
that's true.
I wonder if that was on purpose now, because I mean, the only reason that stuck in my head is because, like, oh, he's like almost the same age as my dad. Like, that was kind of cool. Like Papa Obama. I don't know. Weird. But anyway, yeah, that sounded like it would make more sense. That, you know, it didn't. Execution wasn't there. We'll leave it at that. But yeah, maybe we can even record a live show down there. Like, I don't know, an OSU Penn State game or something.
I'd be down. It's Halloween weekend.
That'd be fun. Halloween weekend. You already got to play. Of course you do. Why did I even doubt you? Of course, you know Penn State's schedule. That's probably like tattooed on the back of your eyelids or something. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here wondering if Syracuse is going to lose to Liberty again this year. But we won't go down that path, because I don't care about Syracuse football that much. I'm all about not worrying about their football team. So
yep, soon he'll be saying that about the basketball team too, but we'll save that for college basketball season, and we'll get into all that fun. I really only know the Ohio State game in the first few games off the top of my head. My dad's birthday is Halloween, so I always kind of know what's going on around then. So it's on the 30th. I am sure the place will be rocking that. So there's two locations, and they're lower south end location here in Charlotte. They have this whole kind of like side room that we've already talked about potentially doing a live show there with them. So I don't know if it would necessarily work out that night, because they might need the space.
It might be difficult, actually. That's bad idea. But
yeah, they might need the space, but it would be a fun atmosphere for sure to see a game there, especially a Penn State game, if for some reason Penn State can pull it out, even though it's in Columbus this year. So chances are low, but never know.
But yeah, no, that'll be fun. I'm excited. That'll be pretty cool, and good to hear that they're canning. I know it's kind of a big breakthrough moment for a lot of breweries, because it enables distribution, which you know, it's a whole nother economic business model. We won't dive into that, but essentially, you know, turning it in from, you know, it allows economies of scale. Yeah, economies of scale, because you can start moving beer through stores instead of just through taps and growlers and that, you know, draft accounts. So it's interesting. It's good for them. It's awesome to see, and I'm looking forward to trying more of the beers now that they're canning.
Yeah, I mean, it was I mean, it had to be a literal lifeline for breweries during the pandemic at some point.
Yeah.
But for me, it was even a lifeline because we weren't going. Toddy was pregnant, and then we had a newborn, so we're not going anywhere. Until we got the vaccine. If we could find a place that was outside and it was a nice day, like we would kind of calculatedly go and figure it out. But we really weren't going to breweries, and there was a lot of new beers coming out still and things like that. And it was a way for me to continue to drink and support Charlotte breweries. And so, yeah, I'm glad they are too. Obviously the ones I got you and Ethan, and they have a bunch more, but yeah, they're good shit for sure. We love them.
Well, is it about time to wrap up? We can do a shorter episode tonight because we're missing 1/3 of the 2 Jocks and 1 Schlub pizza pie tonight. But I don't know. I don't know why I want pizza pie, but we're missing 1/3 of it. We're missing. We're a Pac-Man pizza right now. We're missing our 1/8 slices, so we can keep it shorter.
Was he the energy guy? I can't remember.
The what?
What's the breakdown?
The P's the passionate one.
The passionate one.
Yeah, you're the professional. He's the passionate one. I forget what I am. Oh, I'm the glue. I'm the glue guy. I'm happy to be the glue guy. I'm happy to be the 6th man off the bench.
It's such bullshit because like his passion is really like literally just ranting most of the time. Like it's not passion. It's just rants.
Hey, lots of people have made careers off of that very thing. So
that's true. Skip Bayless comes to mind.
I wasn't going that direction, but that is correct. So
all right, we ended on a high note. Say goodbye to the podcast.
Adios.